8-1 the last 3 days here on the Morning Wager, and I'm still being mocked behind the scenes. That's okay. Perhaps I'm the one, Zinno, who has to sit at the kids' table, I guess, for Thanksgiving dinner because I am responsible for the only loss on this show in the last 3 days. As I mentioned, we were 8-1 at the top. You, sir, serving up winners left and right. And on the docket today, on the menu, if you will, college basketball and the NBA, as it is the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, number one, just pay my chiropractor bill for my lower back as I'm carrying you through this whole experience, which is par for the course here on the Morning Wager. That's number one. Number two, I do have to share with the Morning Wager audience. I have to peel back the curtains a little bit for us. Where I was right and you were wrong, that wasn't even on the Morning Wager. So as we talked about yesterday,
I don't like this story.
Yes, Brian Power and I conversed several times throughout the day. And if you are one of my clients, I put out a play last night, and I told Brian Power when he called me in the middle of the day around 2:00, 2:30, whatever it was. And as soon as the phone rang, before I even said hello, all I said to him was, "I've added the Kansas Jayhawks +3." And he said, "Oh, well, I'm on Duke." And I said, "Well, you're wrong." And he said, "Well, I don't think so." I said, "Well, you are. You're wrong." And I said, "The only reason you're playing against them is because they're undefeated." And you said, "Yes, that's correct." And I said, "That's the wrong reason to do it." Okay. Kansas Jayhawks +3. I'm going to be right and you're going to be wrong. Lo and behold, see what happened was I was right and you were wrong. But my favorite part, and I will give you credit, because the text came at about 11:30 last night, where you said, you didn't say that. You said, "You must think you're pretty tough, don't you?" I said, "Yes, I do. Yes." I felt pretty good about it afterwards. So we went mano a mano, me versus you. And
It
I
was
was
just
the
an
winner.
opinion. It was an opinion I gave out on the Power 5. My clients were also treated to a winner yesterday. Atalanta from your motherland in Italy, in the little Champions League winner. Love getting a 6-1 winner in soccer. Those are no sweats.
Six goals in a soccer game?
Yes,
Was the other team playing without a goalie? Or keeper,
it was
sorry?
young boy. It was young boys. They're not very good.
That sounds inappropriate.
Well, I don't even want to get into that with you. Okay, they're going to be they're
We
out of
need
the
a new
Champions
name.
League in about
That
a
is
couple
not
weeks.
a good name
Well,
for a professional team.
take it up with the Swiss Super League, okay? Anyway, we are done with the Swiss Super League, and we are moving to college basketball,
Yes.
where we each have a play on a plentiful card, I would say. What a great first few weeks of the college basketball season it's been. You are going to look at two ranked teams here, Mark, Texas A&M and Creighton, two teams that, quite frankly, I don't think either of us think should be ranked, but they are. That's not our department. And you've got a kind of a unique wager here. You're looking at the first half. Is how you're betting these teams.
I'll tell you this much. There's nothing better for me in college hoops than a first half under sweat. And the day before Thanksgiving, if you want to shed some extra water weight, this is the way you do it. You take a first half under 67.5 between Texas A&M and Creighton. Now, number one, both of these teams here are top 40 in defensive rating in KenPom. So they're both very good defensive teams. And really, top 50, not top 40, but still 360 college teams. That means they're really, really good in defensive rating. So also, Texas A&M plays super slow, 295th out of those 360 teams in adjusted tempo. So you're automatically getting two teams here that really kind of grind defensively first. Also, both of these teams just played last night in this Players Era Festival Power Tournament. The games in Las Vegas. They're both coming off losses. Texas A&M loses to Oregon, 80-70. Creighton loses to San Diego State, 71-53. Both of these teams shot horrible last night in their games, less than 33% from the field. I expect both of these teams here playing their first back-to-back of the season. A little bit of tired legs here with the travel involved. They'll get off to a slow start. And that's the reason why, because I figure, with a total this low at 143, that we're looking at in the low 140s, the second half would pick up a lot more for both of these teams as they start. Again, this is a 6:30 Eastern tip, 3:30 out on the West Coast in Nevada. So it's not even a normal body clock situation. Again, I think all these things add up to a much slower pace, some poor shooting at the beginning. So let's get a good first half under sweat in, under 67.5 between A&M and Creighton in college hoops.
You heard the man. First half under Texas A&M Creighton. Smash that like button if you agree. I will also now, for my half of the double play, be talking about a ranked team, just one ranked team. That would be number 7 Tennessee. Mark, they're laying 38.5 to UT Martin,
Hmm.
an in-state rivalry,
Yes.
if you will. And
Sure.
now I
Love
would
that.
like to point something out to you. No, I would like to point something out to you. Yesterday, Mark, I broke down the Memphis Michigan State game, and after I was done, you said, "What a great breakdown! I kind of wish that was my
It
half of
was.
the double play." Well, it was
Yeah.
wrong. Okay, it was an eloquent breakdown, wrong side. Today, the breakdown's not going to be as eloquent. Okay,
No.
am I going to look to
In the hopes
find
you get it right.
viewers? Am I? Yes, that's the hope. Am I going to look to find viewers of the morning wager in the eye and tell them that UT Martin is a good team? No, I'm not going to do that. Am I going to tell them UT Martin has a chance to win this game? No, I'm not going to do that. What I am going to tell them is 38.5 is a lot of points. And it's the day before Thanksgiving, as you know. Tennessee has been off since November 22nd. Do we really think they come in here and care that much to outscore UT Martin by a point a minute? We're getting a 38.5 point head start here, guys. The Skyhawks. Behind the scenes, Joe Ranieri was worried that we might not even have a logo for the UT Martin Skyhawks. You see it on the screen right there. UT Martin plus 38.5. They've been competitive enough. They're not. I made the number 33.5 for the record. So look, it's going to be a
Best
blowout. You
part of
talk
it.
about a sweat. You talk about a sweat, Mark. Your game, it's a sweat before halftime. My game, which will be ending right around the same time your game is starting. This is a 4 p.m. Eastern tip, by the way. It's going to be a sweat at the end. Just let's hope they don't do something stupid like unnecessarily foul down the stretch. UT Martin, just be down by 30 with 2 minutes left and give up. That's all I ask.
Dribble it out.
UT
Yes.
Martin.
And that you guys have to understand something about Brian Power since I've known him. He lives by the philosophy that one of the most American things you can do in sports, collegiate or professional, is just quit. That is part of his actually believes that people will just quit. And it's the most American thing you can do is just quit when you're losing.
And I was a slacker once upon a time, my college years, as a matter of fact. Again,
And in law
Tennessee,
school,
they're not going to try here. Yeah, well, let's not get into that right now, okay? My parents could be watching. They were very disappointed. Tennessee is not going to try. It goes back to the philosophy. I remember there was a bowl game 2 years ago. Air Force was playing Baylor. And I came on
mhm,
a WagerTalk TV show. I said, "Are you telling me 2 days before Christmas that Baylor's defense, Baylor was like a 6-6 team that year? You think they're going to prepare for the triple option in a meaningless bowl game 2 days before Christmas? They don't care. They want to go home and hook up with the girls they never hooked up with in high school." That's the same thing with Tennessee here.
okay.
They don't care
I love how you
enough.
bring the holiday factor into it too. They don't care.
Yeah,
They just want to go home and eat turkey.
and yes, meet that girl that
Well
they
done.
wanted to hook up with senior year of high school. UT Martin plus 38.5 was the point of all that, for the record.
Yes.
Um,
Okay.
now, before we get to our show best bets and make a hard right turn to the NBA, we should talk about one of the great deals of the year at wagertalk.com. We talked about it yesterday. By the way, Mark and I would like to thank everyone who got on board the $5 special. We love your guys' support, and we would also love your guys' support if you want to get on board for the next 7 days. Just $69 to get every pick from your favorite Wager Talk handicapper for a full week. And there's no limit to how many handicappers you can use this on. So you can get Mark for the next 7 days and yours truly for the next 7 days. Just $69 for all 7 days. That's a $30 discount off the normal price. So much to bet on, Mark, as you know. The basketball that we're talking about here today, football on Thanksgiving, Black Friday is a big college football day, normal
Mhm.
Saturday with rivalry games in college football, and then Sunday in the NFL, Monday Night Football, Browns, Broncos. My goodness, there is a lot to be betting on. And for just $69, you can get every pick from your favorite Wager Talk handicapper for 7 days. Good
And
deal.
by the way, as you just mentioned it, we will have a morning wager tomorrow on Thanksgiving morning, which will be completely about
Yes.
the NFL card on Thanksgiving. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Again, I mean, hopefully you've subscribed already, and you know that when the show goes and we post it, that you'll get a notification on it. But if you haven't subscribed, and you'll get our Thanksgiving special edition tomorrow, where we will get fat and happy with winners and turkey.
What better way to spend Thanksgiving than with you and me at the table?
I mean,
Just throwing out
listen,
winners.
I would imagine for most people, if they sat down for a meal with you and I, by the time we got 3 or 4 in, they would be having the time of their lives. I mean, honestly. So,
I agree.
and
All
I'm not
right.
afraid to say it. I mean, look, we are probably two of the more charismatic. There you go. Exactly. We are two of the more charismatic individuals at Wager Talk. So, if we should try to give that away as like a prize or whatever. Like, to anybody's a wager. Who do you want to have dinner with at Wager Talk? And let's do a poll. Let's see who would win. I think we
Oh,
would
that would
win.
be interesting.
Oh, that one
There
too.
we go. Certainly some people with a different opinion. I'll tell you what, it's spoken like someone who maybe has sat at the dinner table with us before.
Yes, he has. You know
Anyway,
what? Nothing against his better judgment. He has sat at a dinner table with us and not enjoyed it.
yeah, don't ask about the time you sat at a blackjack table with me. All right, let's talk about the NBA. Sacramento and Minnesota. This is going to be our best bet. Two teams, Mark Zinno, dare I say, are reeling. The Kings and T-Wolves. I
Yeah.
think they both lost 3 in a row. For one of these teams, the losing streak will end, and we believe it will end for the T-Wolves, and we'll lay it with the home team here.
Yeah, a couple of interesting things here. Look, we played against Sacramento the other night with Oklahoma City, right? Right here on the show. I think it was Monday, and cashed our show best bet with that game. So Sacramento's lost 4 in a row. Minnesota's lost 3 in a row. Here's the rub on Minnesota, though. I mean, clearly, look, they're a much better team at home than they are on the road. They lost 2 road games to Toronto and Boston, and then they just lost in overtime to Houston. So I don't see Minnesota losing a 4th straight game. Sacramento is going to be without DeMar DeRozan. This is a Minnesota team here that does not want to fall too far behind in the standings. But not only that, they've already beaten the Kings twice in Sacramento. This is the 3rd meeting between these two teams. So this is a spot right here for Minnesota that they can really kind of take a team that they know that they've beaten up on already and take advantage of that spot here. Minnesota's healthy. They shouldn't have any real issues here. Their offense is good. They're a higher scoring team, but I look at this in this spot here and go, by the way, Minnesota covered both the spreads in Sacramento, which were 1 and 1.5. So I get the adjusted bump here that we're at 4.5 here at home. But let's just go Minnesota here. Better team, better shooting team, better defense overall. And we'll back them here to win this game at home, snap their losing streak, and Sacramento continues to struggle.
There you have it. Show best bet, Minnesota T-Wolves. Comment down below with your favorite bets for Wednesday. We always like seeing that. Make sure you're, of course, subscribed to the Wager Talk YouTube channel. As Mark said, there will be a Thursday edition of the Morning Wager. Make room at the table for Mark Zinno and I, as we will be talking NFL. 3 games that, quite frankly, may not be very good, but we will have winning advice on all of them. Imagine if you're at Thanksgiving dinner and this jam just busts on, by the way. How good would that be?
Make sure you guys subscribe, rate, review, whatever. Send us a like.
Let's cash some tickets, guys. Talk to you tomorrow.